it's actually quite exciting to see the issue of Palestinian justice for Palestine, emerge as a topic of popular discourse. We have attempted for so long to encourage a conversation like this. I don't know whether I enjoy being at the center of the controversy. I think I've had my share of controversies in my life. But I'm happy to assist in the process of encouraging more discussion on racism, on anti-Semitism, on justice for Palestine. The trip that I made to Palestine in 2011 with a delegation of women of color and indigenous feminists was revelatory in a way that I had never expected. I thought that I was aware of the conditions in occupied Palestine, but when I visited Hebron and actually saw signs that barred Palestinian automobiles and Palestinian pedestrians from certain streets, my response was, segregation in Alabama did not bar Black people from the thoroughfares. So in many ways, it seemed to me to be even worse than the segregation of my childhood. I think the world needs to speak out against these conditions. I have never concealed my support for the boycott sanctions movement. As a matter of fact, when BDS was created, in 2005, I believe, as a response to efforts by Palestinian civil society to take measures that are in the spirit of the civil rights movement. As a matter of fact, it has been characterized as a nonviolent effort by Palestinian civil society to challenge the repression that is so pervasive in occupied Palestine. I have been a supporter of justice for Palestine almost as long as I can remember, at least since my years in college. More recently, I have been perhaps attempting to guarantee, along with many others, that the issue of justice for Palestine be placed on social justice agendas more broadly. And it is, I think, the fact that those of us who have been doing this work over the last, I would say, 7 or 8 years, 9 years, the last decade or so, have been relatively successful. There is support for justice for Palestine on college campuses across the country. Particularly, Black student formations have embraced this cause. We know that in 2014, when the Ferguson uprising took place, when the Ferguson protests erupted, it was Palestinian activists who were the first to express solidarity, and as such helped to develop a global solidarity movement for Black Lives Matter. So I think that the characterization of the BDS as a way of acknowledging the South African, the boycott against South African apartheid, and using those strategies within the current situation is absolutely accurate. So I've been involved in the effort to encourage professional organizations. I'm a member of the American Studies Association. ASA was one of the first professional organizations to develop a resolution supporting the boycott, the National Women's Studies Association. So I've been involved actually in many different contexts to help incorporate the call for justice for Palestine in our social justice agendas more broadly.